And the first family wraps up their vacation in the Sunshine State. Hear why the focus was shifted from Florida to New York. Plus, a truck slams into a group of spectators at an off-road race, killing 8 people. Why the driver ran away.
Now, from the station that's taking action for you, this is ABC Action News.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Rebecca Medina. The primary is just 9 days away. Who will next lead the state of Florida as governor? Republicans Bill McCollum and Rick Scott are among the candidates vying for the top job. Tonight they faced off at a Pinellas County straw poll and picnic. Our Ty Wilson shows us how both candidates are competing for supporters.
Multi-millionaire Rick Scott took to the podium with a renewed energy. The Associated Press says in a new poll, Scott...
And on the other side of the political fence, the 2 Florida Democrats competing for their party's nomination for U.S. Senate went head-to-head today. Congressman Kendrick Meek and billionaire investor Jeff Green held a televised debate in Miami. The two disagreed on a number of issues, but the hot-button topic was the success of the Obama stimulus plan.
Is a stimulus package that you have blue-collar workers working on right now, and it helped Miami-Dade County and the state of Florida. Teachers' jobs were saved. Law enforcement jobs were saved. Firefighters' jobs were saved. Kendrick, the stimulus plan did not work. This last month, unemployment claims went up for the first time in 5 months. We still have an 11.5% unemployment rate in Florida. So
Meek and Green also disagreed on how the U.S. should handle trade with Cuba. Green wants to consider lifting the ban and travel restrictions. The Florida primary election is August 24th. And it was supposed to be a trip focused on Florida tourism, but the president's vacation was overshadowed by his remarks about a mosque that could be built just blocks from ground zero. And despite blistering temperatures, music is in the air at Channelside right now. Local bands came out to play for a fundraiser benefiting the families of fallen Tampa police officers Jeffrey Kokab and David Curtis. Radio station 93.3 FLZ is hosting the event. It's called Turn Up the Volume. 5 bands are performing tonight to show their appreciation for the work police do.
There's always police presence, and without them and the safety for all of us, we would be, in serious trouble.
The people behind another fundraiser that took place in Brandon will also make a special presentation tonight. They've raised $26,000 for the Kokab and Curtis families. Turn Up the Volume started at 3:30 this afternoon and goes until 9:30 tonight. An historic building in Hernando County was almost destroyed this morning. Fire gutted the Ramble Inn on Commercial Way in Weeki Wachee. This is all that's left. Parts of the brick walls are still standing, but the building is in ruins. Witnesses tell us that the biker bar and restaurant was filled with flames by the time the first firefighters arrived. The first call came in around 3 a.m. No word right now on a cause. Investigators continue to look for answers. And in Clearwater, a 70-year-old man jumped out of a second-story window to escape a fire in his apartment. Cleveland Malcolm is recovering from a bruised knee tonight, but he says it could have been a whole lot worse. Around 5 o'clock this morning, he saw flames and smoke in his unit on Alpine Road. He tried to get through the front door but couldn't, so he jumped out of his window.
To save me, I know that's the only intention I got to do is to go through the window because I can't go back to the door.
That investigation, of course, is underway. The Pinellas County Sheriff's Office is looking into what they're calling a death investigation. It happened this afternoon at a house on 134th Street in Seminole. Investigators say 49-year-old Diane Kine was found dead inside the home. Her husband called 911 around 3 this afternoon. Her death is being called suspicious, but right now the Sheriff's Office is not releasing any information. Coming up, a road race goes terribly wrong. Hear from a witness who says it was pure chaos as a truck slammed through a crowd of spectators, killing at least 8 and injuring many more. Plus, the man police called the Craigslist killer is now dead. Hear what happened when we continue. It was mayhem last night in the California desert. 8 people are dead and 12 others injured after a truck plowed into a crowd at a late-night off-road race. It took rescue vehicles and helicopters more than half an hour to reach the remote racetrack in the Mojave Desert.
Into the crowd off of the race course itself, and had come to a stop on top of a couple of people.
At least 1,000 people attended the race. Officials say Brent Sloppy, the truck driver, was not hurt but had to flee the scene to escape angry spectators. No word tonight if any charges will be filed. And the accused Craigslist killer was found dead in his Boston jail cell today. Medics pronounced 24-year-old Philip Markoff dead after an apparent suicide. The one-time medical student faced several charges, including murder. Police say he met his victims on Craigslist and was charged last year with killing one woman and robbing 2 others. Markoff was scheduled to go to trial next year. Murder charges have been dropped against the man arrested after yesterday's deadly shootings in Buffalo, New York. But authorities say they're not done with him yet. Keith Johnson is still in jail on a parole violation. He was arrested hours after 4 people were shot to death outside of a downtown restaurant. 4 others were wounded. Prosecutors say, based on security camera video as well as witness statements, Johnson is not responsible for the murders, but he may be a witness. He remains in jail. Coming up, Wayne's coming back with your workweek forecast and find out why this building was demolished earlier today. All when we return.